This is my presentation about the North Korean crisis. North Korea, under the orders of their supreme leader Kim Jong-un, has been ratcheting up its nuclear weapons and long-range missile tests. They also have stepped up cyber warfare capabilities, and this put together with their growing arsenal of weaponry has alarmed neighboring countries, including South Korea and Japan, as well as the US. The North Korean government has been ignoring warnings from other countries to seize their weapons program. They have short and medium-range missiles that can obliterate Japan and South Korea's big cities, such as Seoul and Tokyo, and intercontinental ballistic missiles, called the Taepodong-2, that can hit the continental US, but it still doesn't work. They have, however, successfully made a nuclear bomb small enough to fit on the missile, and will possibly have a working ICBM by 2027. They also have nuclear bombs that can wipe out large cities, similar to what happened in Hiroshima and Nagasaki in World War II. The tension between North Korea and South Korea and the US started when North Korea invaded the South in 1950 during the Korean War. The US came and helped the South because they saw North Korea as a communist threat. It was a fierce battle. North Korea was backed by China, South Korea was backed by the US. The war claimed 2.5 million lives in North and South Korea. After 3 years, it finally ended with an armistice, a ceasefire, meaning the war never officially ended. In the aftermath of World War II, the USSR helped North Korea build nuclear reactors for energy. The USSR had a large stockpile of nuclear weapons that deterred the US from any aggression against it, and by association against North Korea as well. However, in 1991, when the USSR collapsed, North Korea was vulnerable against outside threats. The then dictator of North Korea, Kim Jong-il, the predecessor and father of Kim Jong-un, used nuclear reactors bestowed by the USSR to produce nuclear weapons. 3 successive US presidents have tried in vain to stop North Korea by negotiating, threatening, and using strategic patience. The Kim dynasty saw that other dictators who had or were suspected of having weapons of mass destruction were eliminated by the US, such as Muammar Gaddafi of Libya and Saddam Hussein of Iraq. This was incentive enough for the Kims to build up their nuclear weapons and missiles arsenal to tell the world not to mess with them. Large powers have been piling on many sanctions against North Korea. For example, it cannot export rare earth metals, its largest export, and countries can destroy cargo suspected of being used for North Korea's military purposes. Though restricting, these sanctions have not worked. North Korea feels provoked by other much larger countries and thinks that they cannot show weakness, or they will fall prey to larger nations. Kim Jong-un is afraid of other countries overthrowing the current regime, as it has been done in Libya. This political cartoon from the US depicts Kim Jong-un and a military general going through a hallway with missiles protruding out of the wall, symbolizing the many sanctions that have been put on North Korea. North Korea is disregarding sanctions set by other countries, so the sanctions are not effective in getting North Korea to behave. This cartoon is pointing out how sanctions are not the way to stop North Korea, and countries should find another solution that will be more effective. North Korea's funds must be cut off, so they won't have the money to continue developing their weapons capable of widespread massacres. This can be done through China, severely curtailing on trade, since China makes up 90% of North Korea's trade volume. This will hurt North Korea's economy, and once they run out of funds, they will have to eventually cut down on military spendings, which makes up 25% of their GDP, a huge amount, which is a bigger portion than what the US spends. Large countries like the US must persuade China to put more economic pressure on North Korea. Though China has not always cooperated in the past, such as preventing some harsh sanctions from being imposed on North Korea, it has been losing patience with North Korea and doesn't want a full-blown war to happen that could induce economic instability, not just in North Asia, but worldwide. This is the reason China will want to cooperate, because a peaceful world means a prosperous China. China can stop this crisis because North Korea relies almost solely on China for trading. North Korea won't be content as an LEDC, so countries must help develop North Korea and give it economic stability for a better future. There is a chance that North Korea may go back to developing nuclear weapons and ICBMs as they are now, because there are countries still posing as a threat to the regime. In the end, Kim Jong-un has to go, though China will be the first peaceful step in solving the North Korean crisis and preventing a possible world war.